Mindfulness is the capacity to remember what is important. Mindfulness is to shed light on what is immediate. And mindfulness is a contribution towards clarity and insight. The difference between mindfulness and meditation is that meditation is, generally speaking, referring to a form or a posture. Sitting in the chair with the upright back, sitting cross-legged, slow walking. The continuity of mindfulness contributes to the development of meditation. So if we are mindful reasonably from one moment to the next, the meditation, the concentration gets the chance to develop and deepen. What I would say to the person who's new to mindfulness and meditation is ask quite a few questions. One of which would be, what is the intention and motivation? What's the interest? And that might be because of stress. It might be due to physical pain. It might be due to curiosity and interest. It might belong to a quest for meaning, some sense of the spiritual in life, but not knowing what that is or what that means. So that and other motivations do bring people to these kind of practices. What I recommend is to those people would definitely be practice. There is no substitute for giving an explanation or talking about. It will sound like theory. And I recall when I was a Buddhist monk in a monastery of meditation and mindfulness practice for that purpose, that sometimes people would come, some Westerners, some Thai people. I was in southern Thailand, and the teacher would give 2 or 3 minutes to talking about the practice, but very quickly go and practice, go and sit, be mindful of the breathing, walk slowly up and down, stand upright as a tall tree, do the practice, and then see what benefits there are for you in the engagement with it, which I think is sound advice. In the exploration of mindfulness, it is important to remember that it belongs to a full body of teachings to wake people up. So mindfulness cannot exist of itself and by itself. It's a contribution. So when speaking of some of the other factors that contribute it, one very important one is ethics. What way can I explore mindfully so that I'm not engaged in exploitation, addiction, habits, not giving support to blame and violence and fear, so and consumerism. So mindfulness must address ways and means to live a conscious life with insight and a deep sense of ethics and values. Mindfulness also, it has to address the outer and the inner. So the outer includes people, mindful of the situation of animals, mindful of the environment and resources, and direct mindfulness in there. What do I need to understand about that? What does that mindfulness reveal to me? I need to be mindful of the wisdom, the skills, the good counsel, the appropriate knowledge of other people, and really listen and learn, and to be mindful of that. And also, what does the spiritual mean? Is there any relevance And though this word is undermined quite a lot, it isn't easy to define for sure, but the sense of the spiritual is when consumerism, materialism, is much less important. When we're not reaching out and thinking about me and my and getting and wanting, and that is much quieter in the being, there is a receptivity to something deeper, and we put that into the language of the spiritual. And that has a real place in our personal life, family life, social life, business life, banking life, political life. The spiritual has to be brought in, and unfortunately the spiritual and ethics quite often in the mindfulness world often gets neglected, and therefore mindfulness is then reduced to a kind of personal benefit, and that is important, but there's much more than that.